Expansion Ho! Euro Edition. Welcome back, hockey fans. Welcome in if this is your first time to the channel. I'm Josh. This is the Hockey Flow. And today, it's Saturday, June 9th, 2022. That's right, it's Saturday. We got a special video on hand for you. We did a video on expansion for the NHL for North America a couple weeks ago. So figure, why not do expansion Euro Edition? And this is actually coming from a suggestion in the comments. So thank you so much for that. Great idea. So let's get into it. We're going to do 5 candidates for which city we think the NHL could potentially expand to. Keep in mind, this is all hypothetical and a thought experiment, as the NHL has definitely not announced that they are expanding overseas or anything, but they have kind of planted the seed, if you will. A few years back, they did mention that the goal of the NHL at some point may be to have a team overseas. So let's look at 5 candidates. We're going to look at three primary ones and then 2 honorable mentions. But first and foremost, we got to get through the cons, right? So instead of doing cons for each and every city, the cons kind of became the same thing. It's just that overall discussion, what's the issue with having a team overseas, a European NHL team? Well, first and foremost, the travel, the time zones, your rest and recovery, and we're not going to talk about that last bullet point just yet. But first and foremost, the travel. So is it conceivable for a team to have to travel all that distance? You're traveling across the pond. Depending on which city we end up choosing, you'll see that distance could be quite extreme. So instead of just sounding like a broken record and talking about it each and every city, we're just going to put it out there right now. Yes, if this actually ever did become a thing, travel would be an issue. The time zones would also be an issue. Absolutely, the time difference. You lose time. When you're traveling overseas. Depending on where you're coming from. Different cities are in different time zones, right? So that makes a difference. We talk about that even in North America with Pacific and Eastern time zones. That 3-hour difference. It does have an impact on your rest and recovery. So yes, how do you schedule games? That's always the talking point. Even when we do global series games, like we'll see this upcoming season, they make sure they bookend those with a lot of days on either end, and it's more of a trip as opposed to a quick, we're there to play hockey and get out. But all right, last but not least, Russia. So we're not going to talk about any Russian cities, anything like that. Sure, hockey in Russia is huge, but with everything that's going on, they don't deserve it, so we're not even going to entertain it. So these are going to be our 5 potential European cities for expansion. First up, Prague, Czech Republic. That's right. So the NHL is actually heading to Prague this season for our Global Series games, but the Czech Republic, and Prague in particular, has a very rich hockey history. And I tell you what, the Czech Republic, and you're going to see this on all these cities, the big common theme is going to be the NHL talent that these places produce, and the Czech Republic is no different, right? We got Jaromír Jágr, we got the Bruins of recent years, Pasternak, Krejci, the list goes on, Cervenka in this last team. So the Czech Republic has always been a very formidable team on the international level, and it's great to see them starting to get a little more recognition and seeing their players really shine in the NHL, right? So they've got the talent, right? That's not an issue. They have people coming over here all the time. A team will be supported, right? If we're talking about having an NHL team there, can the NHL team survive? Well, it's about hockey, right? We're talking about growing the game, and the NHL is the top level of hockey in the world. And I absolutely think that a team could be supported in Prague. It's one of the, it's like the heart of Europe in a lot of ways. Everyone wants to go to Prague, and speaking from just a team standpoint, I digress. They do have a local team, Sparta Praha. They have been operated since 1903. That's right. They've changed a little bit, but overall that group has been in that city since 1903. So yes, they can absolutely stand the test of time, and they can absolutely support a team. They've got fans. They have the infrastructure. The location, like I said, the heart of Europe, and the Global Series is heading there this season too. So it's a great opportunity for Prague to really be on display. Now, this is a big talking point for all these places, right? Any place that's going to be expanding, because maybe this is a wave sort of thing. Maybe we do like 5 teams all at once, but you have to have an NHL ready arena. And Prague, I tell you what, they have the O2 Arena, 17,383 capacity. It's beautiful. they've got an arena that could support an NHL team. Of course, you maybe want a little bigger, right? But overall, I think that's a great size. We got the Coyotes playing in a 5,000-seat stadium this next few years, so keep that in mind, absolutely. But all right, moving on to the next. Stockholm, Sweden. If we're talking about NHL talent from overseas, how do we not include Sweden? And that's it. That's the number one pro. The amount of talent that Sweden produces and the excellent hockey that Sweden has just within its own borders. But Sweden's national team is always a powerhouse, right? They're always talked about as one of the teams that could potentially win any tournament at the international level. Now they do have the NHL has had a presence in Sweden since 1980. Hockey Night in Sweden back in 1980. One of the earlier Global Series games was kind of neat. They didn't call it that, of course, but that's really cool that the NHL tried to worked on expanding its brand overseas. Even in the 80s or early 80s, 1980, but. Hockey Night in Sweden. We got to bring that back, right? That'd be so cool. But they already do support 3 teams. There are 3 different sporting clubs within Stockholm. Now, an article I was reading talked about how could you, if you did want to move to Stockholm, because I'm a big fan of it, right? Stockholm, Sweden in general, man, it's a hotbed for hockey, right? So if you moved an NHL team there, do you take the current SHL team, because that's Sweden's top league? Do you take that current team and make them maybe the AHL affiliate for an NHL team? It's neat to go down that thought process, but at the end of the day, there are 3 teams there, and they're supported. So I don't think fans would be an issue as well. I mean, I think folks would come out in droves. Now, is the arena an issue? They have the Avicii Arena. We saw it on the thumbnail. It's that beautiful globe. I believe it used to be called the Ericsson Globe. 13,850 people. I think that's plenty, and it's beautiful. Look at that picture. I think that would work out great. I think Stockholm, Sweden could be an excellent choice if the NHL ever decided to move overseas. All right, let's move on. Berlin, Germany. This is one of my, I say, dark horse candidates, just because Germany isn't really looked at too highly on the international scene yet for hockey wise. But Draisaitl, Seider, Stützle, that German team right now, they're on the rise, right? And they're making their presence known. It seems like these most recent international tournaments, we're talking about Germany more and more. That's good, right? So let's build on that or capitalize on that momentum, right? Let's keep that going. Let's move a team to Berlin. Berlin historically too, right? One of the great cities of the world. But one of the first countries the NHL actually went to. 1959, the NHL did one of its first tours, and they did 23 games, 10 cities. 4 of those cities were in Germany. Berlin was one of them. So there is an established history of the NHL dabbling in Germany. Absolutely. And they do. They have an established team. There's an established German league, right? It's not necessarily the top tier, but I would still say it's very competitive. Up there, Finland, maybe not Sweden. Sweden maybe a little higher, but, let me know in the comments. Where do you guys think these all fall? But they do have an established team. Eisbären Berlin, established in 1954, and they're still chugging along, and I love that logo. That polar bear is fierce. So they could support a team, absolutely. And this isn't necessarily about replacing a team. It's just, can a team survive? Can a team build their brand and build momentum and stick around? And absolutely, 1954. This is like talking about Prague again. 1903. My goodness. They do have an NHL ready arena. This is again, these are common themes, right? But they have the Mercedes-Benz Arena, 14,200 seat capacity. That's more than enough, right? Again, Arizona Coyotes spending 3 seasons in ASU. But again, we're talking overseas. It's not like every city, is going to have a team. So this would be kind of a big event. So I don't think they'd have any problem filling that puppy out. And if they need to build another one and get more people, absolutely, growing the game, right? Okay. Honorable mentions. We went through the 3 main primary ones. Now let's get to our honorable mentions. First and foremost, London, England. So London is definitely not the first place you think about when you think about hockey for certain. But if we really want to grow the game, right? That's our goal, grow the game of hockey. Then let's establish it in a giant, beautiful city like London, right? They hosted a game in the NHL's first ever trip overseas, and there was a team established by the old Detroit Red Wings owner. He established the London Lions. I believe that was in 1973, 74. Let me know in the comments if you know that one. I believe that's right. But they already tried, a little bit. It didn't take necessarily, but it's a different day and age. They already have a 20,000 seat arena too. It's waiting. It's sitting there waiting. The O2 Arena. But at the end of the day, they do have a league, the Elite Hockey League, and it struggles, financially, and it doesn't, gain a ton of traction. But I would like to see London get a shot. Maybe not above any of these others, but London, it's in the discussion. But all right, Helsinki, we're going to Finland, baby. Yes, I got to talk about it, because if we're going to talk about countries that produce NHL talent, we have to talk about Finland, and their love of hockey is real. If Stockholm, Sweden is like the capital of hockey for overseas, then Finland, Helsinki, Finland is going to be a close second. Those man, the hockey passion is just so real, and I love it. And again, that ties into the culture. It's already established. Hockey is such an important part of the culture over there. They have two arenas, right? The Helsinki Ice Hall and the Hartwall Arena. The Hartwall Arena is an interesting one. And to be honest, the reason I didn't put Helsinki earlier in as one of the primaries is mostly for location. And I know that's silly because, Sweden, you're just across the Baltic Sea there. But that Baltic Sea, that's important. That's a good divider. But the nonsense that's happening in Russia right now, and Finland is really close to that. And it scares me a little bit, if this doesn't clear up anytime soon, as Finland get roped into it. My goodness, we're not even going to go down that path. But that is why I didn't include them as maybe one of the three primaries. But Helsinki would be an excellent location if we're just talking strictly hockey, removing all the nonsense of the world out of this. There's two teams already there. They've got an established hockey culture. They love the game. They have the talent. I think it would be an excellent choice. Again, just stupid Russia, just stupid Russia. But going back to that Hartwall Arena, that other team, the Jokerit team, we see their logo there. They actually were a part of the KHL and until April, and with Russia invading Ukraine, said nope, we're out, and they are trying to rejoin the Finnish league. So very very cool to see. Good for them. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our candidates. The next the Euro expansion city winner though, who's the NHL gonna move to? In my opinion, if we ever had to do it, this is all hypothetical, we're heading to Stockholm, Sweden, baby. Absolutely. I know it's a little farther north in Europe, but I tell you what, the combination of the arena, the culture, the love for hockey, the talent that country produces, I tell you what, they absolutely deserve an NHL team. Stockholm, Sweden, you're going to be the next expansion team if the NHL ever decides to head over to Europe. But that's going to do it for the video today. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. We are doing a giveaway at the channel. We're on that race to 100 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, please take a moment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate you guys. Helps us out a ton and means a lot. And I just love talking hockey with you. But once we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to do a special video, let you know what you need to do to be eligible for that $100 gift card to NHL shop, just as a token of my appreciation. But maybe no today in hockey also tonight. We'll keep you posted. But until tomorrow, cheers.